Yeah, those are the types of things that have really been interesting to me. I think the next phase for my playing was discovering, I guess, superimposition. That was really a big deal for me because everything that I learned is off the street, right? I come from the rock and roll blues guy, but I used to hear guitar players, and I would think to myself, man, this guy's got such a great sense of note selection. Like, how is he picking the notes so cool? And then I would try it, and it just seemed like I didn't have. That's not it. I have to bend a little bit higher. I couldn't find it, right? And then I started to realize that what was happening was really that basically chords were being played on top of other chords, and that's what's making these guys, or getting like that, getting these different tonalities by basically playing chords in the form of like either arpeggios or notes played separately, and really exaggerating color tones and the chord extensions rather than just chord tones, and that was huge for me. That was a big breakthrough. And then it suddenly made sense to me. I'm like, wait a second. So if I go to play a chord scale in a certain key like G, then you're telling me that I can go, all of these arpeggios, if I make these all arpeggios, I can play those arpeggios over this chord, like, wow, I never would have thought to do that. B minor over A, really? So that was a huge breakthrough for me. And it was really strange because, when I was a kid, if somebody told me that I could play something like B minor over A minor, I would have thought, no, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. And then later discovering that not only can you do that, but it really is a cool. When I went home, when I was a kid, I started practicing to see if it really worked. Try these different arpeggios over this. Wow, I thought, well, that's pretty cool sounding. Cmajor, B minor, it was really weird for me because, I always just thought you could go, and then like B minor, really? That was a big deal for me to just discover that you could play all these different, basically chords on top of other chords. And that was probably the biggest breakthrough for me because, and the other thing was that I do these things that are kind of, they're like these barring licks. And as a matter of fact, when I was a kid and I first heard Yngwie for the first time, I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't know how it was possible to go like to cover that much real estate in that short amount of time. So I was practicing all these different shapes, and I discovered. So it wasn't until I met Jason Becker that I saw that guys were doing it different ways. But I discovered this way. So that was my interpretation of these minor triads. And most guys I discovered later were doing this. They're like, that kind of thing. Or the Yngwie goes, and I think Jason would do, he had some crazy thing.
Jason.
Yeah, he was nuts. But I guess you can all go over there. But my thing was this. And that was an easy one because of this high part. Very smooth triad. And what was the reason I wanted to bring that up? Oh, because that started to mix in with my normal playing. But there was a specific thing I was going to bring up about that. One thing I started to learn as my ear got better was that, hearing a sound like that and then playing over it was a bit redundant. In other words, the band is doing A minor, and then the guy is playing A minor. It's just more of the same thing. And I understand that sometimes overstating that can be forceful and aggressive and cool and very classical. But I really liked the idea of hearing. That instead over it. And so then I thought, well, how can now what? So I play an arpeggio and then it's over and done with. Now what do I do? So I wanted to figure out ways that I could, swim in those sounds a little bit more and just be in there, not just have to just go and be done with it. And so I started to just play around with ideas for sequencing through these shapes. And the first one I came up with was just a simple. So if you listen to my earlier stuff, you'll hear that all over my solos, like all non-stop, it's like too much of it. But it was helpful. It also was helpful for other guitarists, like rock guitar players who had a hard time playing things that didn't sound very downbeatish. So if they, if they incorporated this, I had to force them to go. But anyway, so that was really helpful, and then I started to just expand on that idea. So I came up with these licks that would be, or the sequences that were long. There's like 32 notes in it before it repeats. 1 E and 2. And those became very, very useful in improvisation because. Again, I overused that a little bit. Just to go back, rewind the clock a little bit. So E minor, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, C major, anyway, anyway, so that's the idea. It's the sound is really, really weird up here. But anyway, so that led to that whole thing, and it was very, very helpful. And it also, because it's, you know, anything that's got polyrhythms or where you count to a certain thing, like, you know, 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4E and the 1E and the 2E and the 3E and the 4E, and everything keeps switching on the bar line, is always cool. You know, if I play a 5-note sequence, but I count only to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, then it suddenly sounds a lot cooler than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's another thing that was really helpful with guitars who, again, were always playing things that were like, you know, very predictable and, you know, always mathematically 4. So those things were helpful. But that's the long and boring, you know, story of my career. I'm going to play another song.